What's up, Tiger fans? Welcome back to episode 5 of the Streak Speak. We are continuing with the fall sports, and we are joined by Georgia Beachley today from field hockey. Georgia is just like me, Maryland born, Maryland bred, stayed local for college, stud athlete. So we're going to jump into all kinds of things that she's been through. Georgia, obviously, thank you for joining us here today. You come from C. Milton Wright High School, and you chose Towson to come to. Why Towson, and what are the benefits of staying local, close to your hometown?
So it's funny you say that because I always thought that I wanted to go super far away for school. So when I was doing my college search, I was going to clinics all up and down the East Coast. And then I did a clinic with Sam, my teammate now, and at Towson. And I honestly just fell in love with the team, the culture, the coaches. They had my major. And one of the perks is that my parents can come to all the games, which is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other question I think around here that relates to that is, why field hockey? Why did you choose field hockey? Because you played other sports in high school. So when did you figure out that field hockey was for you? And then when did you realize you could play at the next level that you started to make that commitment? What did that timeline kind of look like for you?
So I would say freshman year, I played both club lacrosse and club field hockey. So I say freshman year, my high school career is kind of when I started to lean more towards field hockey, and then just doing clinics with that. Yeah, so I would say junior year is when I committed. And when I was going through my college search, I couldn't really envision myself going to college and not playing at that next level. So I'm happy with my choice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So you get here freshman year, which was fall of 19, and then you go through an ACL tear. So what does that look like in your recovery mentally? Just what's that process for you? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was definitely my first injury that was huge as an athlete. So I was really lucky in the first 18 years of my life that I hadn't had a big injury like that. But it was really difficult. It was mentally draining, especially with 4.5 months into my recovery was COVID. So all of the PT and rehab places shut down. So I was basically doing all at-home rehab. So that was really difficult, and getting back on the field even after being cleared, I didn't feel like the same player, and it definitely does take time, and self-doubt and confidence definitely tend to creep in, but definitely feel like I'm back to where yeah.
And then you get back, like you mentioned, COVID was during that rehab process, and Demi went through the same thing, ACL tear, COVID rehab process, that whole mess. So how did you deal with that personally outside of the injury, and how did you deal with that as a team? Because that happened in the spring, you didn't know what was going to happen in the fall, and what did that 2020 year kind of look like for all you guys?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I mean, we were in kind of like a COVID bubble, so we didn't really have any contact with anyone outside of our team. So we definitely got closer as a team, and we didn't get shut down at all. There was no COVID outbreaks in our team. So we definitely were staying disciplined and giving up sacrifices for our team. So I think it only made us stronger.
Yeah, for sure. And then that 2021 season, because we have dealt with all fall sports, you guys went through the same thing where you had that short season in the spring and then the full fall season in the same calendar year. So how was that abnormal from what you've been through before, and kind of how did you balance that with your regular routine?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely weird going back to back for sure. We played 8 games in that spring and then a full season right after that. So we didn't really have kind of that spring season in between to kind of grow and really learn and grow as a group. So definitely went by really fast for sure. So yeah.
And do you guys typically do field hockey in the off season in the summer? Like, when is your off period? Do you ever get an off period? What does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I would say as I've been here at Towson, we have grinded a lot more in the off season, especially during winter break and the summer months. We started doing accountability workout groups over the summer, which really held each other accountable for sure.
And that was organized by you guys.
Yeah, the leadership.
So you guys are obviously a close-knit group, it seems like. And you personally have played with Andy and Sam since you guys were 8, which would be almost 14 years. How did that happen, and what is that like still to do to this day?
It's honestly amazing. It's crazy to think about because I feel like they're my home away from home in a sense. I picked up a stick and learned how to play with them, and now I'm playing at the collegiate level with them. So it's really fun, and it's cool because we just have that connection on the field where I literally just know where they are, which is really cool. So yeah.
And you played club with them, or did you go high school too?
Yeah, so we started playing rec together. We played H2O field hockey, like our club together. Okay. And then we played at C. Milton Wright together too. So sure. We had all seasons together, and we won state championships. So that was really cool too.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So your family, you mentioned before how close they are in proximity-wise to you, but also how close to you are they off the field? How often are they around? How often do you get to see them? How often do you go home? And what does that kind of look like? What are the benefits of really having them around that they've been able to teach you and enjoy these experiences with you?
Yeah, it's really cool. They try to come to all of the away games too. So they started like a little parent like pregame tailgates before the games, which is really fun. And we do like post-game tailgates with a bunch of food, like a food spread too. So it's really cool because I know that they, take off from work and come to the away games too. So
yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. My parents are the same way, and I think that's the biggest thing where I had to learn, like, because I did go away for a year, you were here the whole time, but having your parents be able to be there as much as possible, and just family in general, like it's super special. But talk to us a little bit about your mom and the news you guys got this summer, and kind of how you handled that, how she handled that, and what that's kind of meant for you perspective-wise, how you carry that with you all the time.
Yeah, so 2 weeks before I came back for preseason, we found out that my mom was diagnosed with leukemia. She has CML, which is chronic myeloid leukemia. So it was really scary. Me and my dad were driving up and back to Hopkins every single day, but news like that just kind of puts it into perspective, kind of how precious life is and who you want to be in it and, what matters most. So I definitely had to step back and be like, what really matters to me. But she's doing good. She's on medicine now, and she's still tailgating at the, before the game and stuff. So I would say I'm definitely playing for her this season, and she always tells me, rise to the occasion. So playing for her this season. Yeah,
that's great. And I think that's the biggest part of what we're doing here is have these conversations, because we all go through this stuff and we see each other all the time, and just that's how we are as athletes, but we don't understand what we all go through. So just the perspective of what you've gained from that and what you're able to share, I think is great. And the mental side of that too. Talk to us a little bit about what you believe in mental health. Obviously you and Lexi both started an initiative that we'll get into in a little bit, but what have you learned through all these adversities mentally that has kind of helped you rise to the occasion and keep chugging?
Yeah, I would say life's not going to be easy, or nothing's going to be handed to you. And, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. And, it's through the bad days where you kind of grow and learn and, become better. But I strongly believe that, like, you can't get through life in a negative mindset. Right. You got to look on the positive, look on the bright side, be optimistic. So.
Yeah, 100%. So let's get into what you and Lexi started, Morgan's Message. Where did that come from? How did it get to Towson? And how can anybody out there get involved if they support it? How can they join you guys on this mission?
Yeah, so Morgan's Message, it's a mental health student-athlete organization. I think they have over 1,000 student-athlete ambassadors, which is awesome. But basically, it's just a platform for advocacy for mental health. And they do dedication games. So it's really early days. Me and Lexi just started it, but we're looking to have our first meeting hopefully soon, and maybe hopefully have some dedication games
for sure
coming up in the winter.
For sure, because you've seen through the years, One Love has done stuff like that before. Yeah. Or these kind of things, they catch on. And SAC here offers Own Your Roar, and I hope to talk to a couple of SAC people down the line about that kind of stuff. But when we talk about mental health, I think Dr. Eigenbrock's on the same page, where mental health is super important to athletes, and we've seen that happen. So any conversations we can have, obviously we appreciate what you and Lexi are doing and want to help you guys as much as possible. But on the personal side, what are you studying here, and what do you plan to do with it? And how has that maybe changed through your collegiate career?
Yeah, so it's funny because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I decided to be a business major. Okay. And then I chose marketing as my concentration, and the marketing professors here have been amazing. I have loved every single one of them. So I had an internship at a marketing agency. It's a local one called Emory.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way.
So that I really liked. I did a lot of stuff with PR and influencer marketing. So I could definitely see myself working there after I graduate, for sure. But
yeah. Obviously, people don't know this, but I was there with you for a portion of the time.
Yeah.
One of the partners at Emory is a Towson baseball alum, so they are local and they are kind of Towson bred, which is cool. Through all the things that you've been through, just adversity-wise, you've obviously chewed up and spit it out, and you figured out what you're doing with your career and all that kind of stuff. But if you had to go back to yourself in the first July before your first preseason and say, this is how the next 4 years are going to go, this is my advice to you as an incoming bright-eyed freshman, what would you tell yourself in that moment to get you through all the things that are going to come through the next 4 years?
I would just say, just work hard and enjoy every moment, because it literally goes by so fast. I feel like everyone says that, but it does.
It does.
So really just enjoy every moment and just try to stay positive through it all.
Yeah, 100%. And then obviously you're here now. You've done your work. Most of the conversation has kind of answered this question, but I'm going to dive into it anyway because it's what we hit every time. What have you done today to make Towson Athletics a better place than it was yesterday?
So I'd probably say I cleaned up the locker room a little bit. It was looking a little rough, so I cleaned it up a little.
Yeah, I mean, anything little that helps.
Yeah.
Especially for you guys on the game week, playing this Sunday at 1 o'clock, hosting St. Louis. So hope to see a lot of you guys out there, and obviously we'll see you there. Thank you for joining us as usual. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to take probably a different route next week, try to go back to the administration side, talk a little bit about NIL and some other things that are hot topics in the news. So look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for joining us. Go Tigers.